welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today, we've got two rather big games coming up for you. You've got Luton in the league, that's a real mid-table clash. And then after that, we've reached the Carabao Cup fourth round. If you remember back to last episode, we beat Fulham in that episode. So we're in the fourth round of it now, and today we're taking on Leicester City. So in between episodes, it's been pretty decent, I've got to say. We'll start off with some of the good news. We've now got a new board in place. We've got a new chairman at the club, so that's quite exciting. Now, this happened pretty quickly after last episode, so there's no news articles about it right now, but I've put a few screenshots up on Twitter if you have a look at those. I'll also put a few up now just so you can see that we have got a new board coming in. He injected £300,000 into the club. Now, remember last episode, he said to us that he was going to wipe all the debts away from the club. That was one of his promises. I'm sure that was what it was last episode. At the moment, he has yet to wipe any debt away. If we look here, we still got our bank loans of £1.2 million left to repay for the stadium and things like that. That's still there. That's not gone, which is a little bit worrying because he said he was going to get rid of it. If we look at other income, though, £311,000 so far this month. That's the £300,000 that he has invested himself personally, the brand new owner. So that has been a bit of investment, but not the 1.2 million wiping clear of debts that we were promised, which is I'm not quite happy about. What I am happy about is, though, he has agreed to improve the training facilities and the youth facilities, so that's being done. The previous board were very, very reluctant to upgrade facilities at all. They just didn't want to do it ever. They did it once, but that was it. This is now 11 seasons into it. They did it once in the entire time, upgraded facilities. They've just not been keen to do it. This new board straight away accepting my request, which is really, really nice. You'll also hear affiliated clubs completed. They're not completed. We've asked for affiliated clubs. They said yes, and then they failed to find any club suitable sort of thing. I'm trying to get a partner club where we can send players out on loan, where they can play together more importantly than anything else. We can send our young players out to any clubs we want to, but I'd rather them all play for the same sort of team to get used to play with each other. So when they come to our first team, they've already got that chemistry. Either way, the board just won't agree with any club. They can't make a deal with anyone. So it says completed, but really it's not. Fixtures in between episodes have been really, really good. You were last here for the draw to Doncaster and the win against Fulham. Since then, played a fair few games. We started off not the best, but have had 5 wins in a row, which is fantastic. We started off with a 0-0 draw against Notts County. County above us in the table, so I wasn't really too fussed about that. A clean sheet was really, really good. We followed up, though, with a 1-0 loss to Wolves, so they scored a penalty in what was a very, very cagey game. Since then, though, we have done particularly well. Mark Mason getting the only goal of the game against Colchester United at home, making sure we picked up all 3 points. We then went and beat Accrington 1-0, Ramage with the goal in that one. So that takes us to 2 wins in the Checker Trade Trophy. So I think we've actually qualified from our group for the first time ever. We've never got past the group stage of the Checker Trade Trophy, so finally we're here. Following that, we had a 2-0 win against Burton Albion. Tyler Monk and Ramage getting goals in that game as well for another 3 points and another clean sheet. Wigan up next away from home, another 1-0 win. Wade Ross with the goal this time, and again another clean sheet. And then a 5th clean sheet in a row, this time against Peterborough. Wade Ross and Stephen Robbins with the goals in that game to bring in another 3 points. So we've been really, really good recently, but as you can see, we've been playing games, 2 games a week for the past 4 weeks. Our players are very, very tired, and I think that's going to suffer, especially in these next few games, in these next few cup games that are coming up. What it means for the table is that we sit 8th in the table right now, which is really, really good on 27 points. We are 2 points behind Oxford, who are in the playoffs, but them and Salford do have games in hand on us, so they may go ahead of us in the future, we don't know. But to be just over a quarter of the way through a season, just outside the playoffs, I'm pretty excited by that. We have had relatively easy fixtures. County, I think, at the time were above us maybe, but then we've sort of gone ahead of them recently. They've had a bit of bad form, but teams that we have beaten recently, Peterborough, Colchester, Burton are down there as well, and Wigan bottom of the table. The last 4 games we've won have all been pretty easy games, to be fair, so we probably were expected to win that. I think as we start to face a few better sides in the next few weeks, we may drop down a little bit from 8th. Alternatively, we could try and keep the good form going. Perhaps a good bit of form we've been in recently will be the momentum and the catalyst for a really, really top season. We are resting a few players today, though, against Luton, not because we want to save them, because we have to rest them, essentially. Hartop, for example, is down on 87% condition. Mason on 89% condition. We've also got quite a few injuries as well. We'll talk actually through injuries. A few players just not going to be able to play today in today's episode. Littler and Woodthorpe both out for at least a month at the moment. Farrell should be coming back in the next day, as Leon Griffiths as well. They've been both out for a little while as well with injuries. They might play against Leicester, but perhaps there's no point risking them in that game because it's Leicester. We're probably not going to win that game, but we said that against Fulham, and we beat Fulham, so never say never. The intense fixture list recently, though, has had its toll on some of our players. As you can see, we have got injuries. We have got players that we need to rest. We are playing players that we probably shouldn't be playing, but we want to try and keep the momentum going. So through a combination of resting tactically a few players and also playing a few tired faces out there that probably will be essential to trying to get the win today, we are going to go with this team today for the Luton game. So McClement stays in goal as per usual. Turiak stays at left back. Richard Smith and Mike Coates make up that centre defensive partnership, with Carl Smith this time moving out to the right hand side because Hartop needs a bit of a rest. Goff and Ramage still in the middle there, both looking tired, and Ramage really does need a rest actually. I think actually looking at this, we'll take him off. We'll bring Campbell on for Ramage. Ramage has been by far the best player in the squad this season. He's been really good, and I don't really want to rest him, but he's got that rest sign on him, so actually he probably does need the rest today. Campbell's just come back from an injury as well, so he needs to get a bit of game time going, so a little bit of a risk maybe. We've got Robbins on the left-hand side and Douglas Hurst starting on the right-hand side today. Tyler Monk's also going to be starting in that attacking midfielder position. Now, because Woodthorpe's been injured, and he's been injured for a little while and is going to be injured for a little while longer, we haven't really got an adequate CDM replacement. So we've been trying Monk out in that attacking midfielder position, and quite frankly, it's worked pretty well so far, as you've seen in recent results. So hopefully that will continue. And then leading the line today, our leading goal scorer in the league, Wade Ross, only with 4 goals, which is a bit of a disappointment, but with 4 goals, Wade Ross leads the line for us today. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today for the League One fixture in today's episode. Luton coming to our place. They usually bring quite a few fans with them, so I'm looking forward to seeing how big the attendance is going to be. So I'm very, very happy with the opening quarter, opening third of the season so far. We have done pretty well, I've got to say. I think we're probably a bit above where we should be. I think we probably should be mid-table more than just outside the playoffs. I think we probably, as a side, are capable of between 10th and 14th this season. I think what's holding us back is having a really top quality goal scorer at this level. Now, we've got Mark Mason, who we know is a top quality goal scorer at every single level, but when he's come to League One, he's just not quite been able to do it as he used to be able to do in the lower leagues, for example. So that's a little bit of an issue, as we've been dispossessed in the midfield, and Luton looking to come forward to try and grab a goal. Coates make a decent interception there, and Monk plays it out to Douglas Hurst. Douglas Hurst coming forward, looks to put the cross in, puts it into Robbins at the far post, who puts it over the bar. As I was saying before that, I think we are lacking a top quality striker at this level. Once we get that top quality striker at this level, I think we will be candidates for playoffs. Defensively, I think we're there. I mean, we've had a lot of clean sheets this season so far, and last season we conceded the second least amount of goals out of every club, but we still finished way in the bottom half of the table. So Monk, his shot saved by the goalkeeper. We're having some good chances here today, but we're just lacking that clinical goal scorer, and that I think is going to be the final piece of the puzzle in our quest for promotion. Defensively, as I said, we're all there. Midfield, I think, has sort of clicked this season. I think midfield-wise, Ramage has been a revelation for us, and Goff alongside has been pretty decent as well. The wingers have been a better wingers this season. They've been a better fit into the squad, but I think next season it's the strikers and probably the wingers as well that we need to really focus on. That's where we need to spend money, if we're going to spend money at all. As Luton hit the post, the player coming for the rebound doesn't quite get there, goes out for a corner. That was fantastic last-ditch defending. There is time in January, though, of course. Still time in January for us to sign a new striker, and of course, we're only just outside the playoffs as things stand. We might be able to sneak in there at some point and try and stay there, especially with our really good defensive record. That could work in our favour. As long as we get 3 points, that's all that matters. We might be there or thereabouts in the playoffs, but as Luton come forward again, are we going to be able to hold them off again? We are able to hold them off again. They do keep coming forward with a bit of purpose. This time it looks like we're trying to go on the counter-attack. Robbins plays it out, intercepted, and now Reagan Booty can come forward. Simpson on the ball. His shot wide this time. I think we have been a bit kind with Luton, giving them a few chances that perhaps they shouldn't be having. Goal kick then for Luton. Their goalkeeper clears the ball, goes out to their number 9, Hunt, who plays it out. To be fair, we've not reacted very well to that at all. Loads of Luton players through the middle, completely free and open. And as I've been saying, that defensively, we have got a really, really good side. They score a goal. I think I'm going to make a triple substitution pretty early on in this second half, I think, to try and change things around. Mark Mason's going to come on for Wade Ross. I think we need a bit of a change up front. Wade Ross not playing particularly well today. Goff is looking tired out there. I'm going to put Campbell on his deep line playmaker position. And then we're going to bring Ramich on for Goff in that box-to-box midfielder position. I want to bring Robbins off as well because he is looking tired out there. But there's no one to really bring on for him. We can move Turiak up there. But then if we want to take Robbins off the pitch in that left-back position, again, there's no one to come on. Although Richard Smith can apparently play at left back. So if actually we move Richard Smith over to left back, it's not the most ideal scenario, but he can play there relatively well. We'll then bring Mark Hunter on at centre back as well. They're the 3 changes that we'll make. Rest them up a little bit for the game against Leicester in a few days' time, and it might just change things in our favour today. Remember though that Luton, this is the biggest challenge that we've had in those 5 games. The 5 games that we have played have all been teams from 15th down. So we have had a pretty nice run of fixtures as Luton score a pretty nice goal there from distance. Regan Booty getting it, putting it past McClement, who couldn't really do much about it. And now that we're 2 goals down, we really are looking like we're not going to win this game, despite us being, I would say, the better side. I mean, we've had 68% possession to their 32% possession. We've had more shots. This is what I mean. We just need that top quality striker at this level, and then I think we'd be okay. So it drops us down to 10th in the table as things stand, but we are only 4 points off the playoffs. There's still like a long way to go in this season. So it's only a little blip. We have got now 3 cup games in a row to try and turn things around, get a bit of form and momentum back into our ranks. And then we've got loads more league games after that. We can try and get a few more wins. To be fair, my assistant manager, he's gone to the media and he says we've got a chance of beating Leicester. Now, I'm probably not quite as optimistic as he is, but it's nice to know that he's backing us out there. Should also mention as well, it was asked of me in the comment section in the very first episode of this series, how are we doing for staff? Have we been improving the staff? And I always do it. Every season, I always get rid of some people as staff and always bring in a new member of staff sort of thing when the contracts expire and things like that. To the point where we do have pretty much the best coaching team in League One. Like, we are pretty good at that. I'm pretty on the ball with getting staff in. Because we're limited with the amount of physios and the amount of recruitment staff we have, we're not quite as good in those areas. But in terms of coaching and things, absolutely fine. The players are what I think are important. You see that every single episode. You never ever really see in any save, I don't think, the staff. So I don't really make it a focus. But I always try and, upgrade them, keep them going sort of thing. And to be fair, we've kept the same core for the past few seasons, actually. Dawson Lund's been at the club for a good few years now, and he's the assistant manager. Just goes to show that, although we've not got the best budget in the league, we can really compete in terms of our coaching teams. It's just a shame that we don't have the facilities yet to compete with other teams. So then, here we are. For a place in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, we are taking on Leicester today. We do need to make a few changes. We are going to bring Mark Mason back into the fray. Mason's going to be starting up front today just because I love him and I trust him and I know he'll score the goals today in a big game. Griffiths is back from injury but not quite fit enough to be playing a full game today. So Douglas Hurst is going to stay on the pitch for now. Monk and Robbins will also stay there. Campbell's going to come off and Ramich is going to come back on. Hartop's also going to come back on for Carl Smith. But I think we probably will leave the rest of the back line the same. I think Carl Smith we'll leave Mike Coates on for now. He's been wanting more game time. To be fair, he has played pretty well recently. He's helped with keeping a few clean sheets out there. So they're the changes that we'll make. Back to a more full strength lineup for this game. Hopefully, we'll cause another upset against Leicester, but I can also see us losing 5-0. You're also going to be shouting at me, why have you not gone back to a CDM? Well, we just don't have anyone there that's capable of playing there particularly well. They're not going to expect us to go out there all guns blazing attacking, so it's surprise tactics. That's what it is. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today. We're at home and apparently we should be getting a sellout today. Now that means we should make £100,000 or more from this game. First game of the season, we sold out against Lincoln City. That was a sellout for that game, and we made £90,000 off that. But ticket prices would have been a bit cheaper, I think, perhaps for a league game. This is, quite a big cup game. We should probably increase prices to get some more money from it. Also, Lincoln game, we had season ticket holders there. This time, season tickets won't count. So we should, I think, make at least £100,000 off this game. We've got an early corner, which has gone into Mason, and Danny Douglas-Hurst, he put it in the back of the net after the header was brought down by Mason, but Danny Douglas-Hurst in the offside position. We could have had an unlikely lead in this game against Leicester, but unfortunately not to be. But we have had 2 shots to their 1 shot so far and a lot more possession. That's promising. The longer we hold out for, the better, as Hartop looks to put a cross in. blocked, but Danny Douglas-Hurst can collect the ball. He puts in the cross in, but it's cleared again, only as far as Goff this time. Leicester cannot clear the ball. Turiak this time puts a cross in. Douglas-Hurst into Mason. Mark Mason puts it in the back of the net to give us the lead against Leicester. We can't seem to do it against Luton, but against Leicester, we have taken the lead, and the Carabao Cup this season, the journey continues. What a fantastic run we're having. And if we can now hold on for the rest of this game for another 60 minutes, we're in the bloody quarterfinals. Can you believe that? No, I can't believe it yet, Tom. We've still got a long way to go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Leicester are a Premier League side for a reason. They'll probably come back and beat us. Free kick for them now on the edge of the area. It's McClement actually makes a save there, I think. McClement made the save, pushed it clear, then it was cleared. But as the first half ticks on, and Leicester have another highlight, I was about to say it looks like we're going to hold on to our lead until half-time, but Leicester looking to come forward now, trying to get back into this game, back into the swing of things. James Maddison coming forward, Hartop with the interception, but Maddison collects the ball once again and plays it back to his defender as they try and patiently build forward, bringing the ball. De Silva now, Josh De Silva on the ball. He puts it towards the middle. James Maddison back on the ball. He shoots. His first of the season is in the back of the net. And we go into half-time 1-1 at the moment, but it's been a fantastic first half for us. 1-1. We're better in possession, not quite as good in shots and things like that, but it's been a much more even game than I would have thought. Of course, Carabao Cup goes all the way through to extra time and penalties. Penalties is probably the best chance we have of winning, but that means holding on for a long, long time in this game. Very reluctant to make substitutes as well. If we do look to go to extra time, I'd like to save those substitutes to bring our best penalty takers onto the pitch to give us the best chance. Second half, though, has been very quiet, and we've had no shots at all so far in it. So penalties probably is looking like the most likely scenario for us to win this tie. As Tottenham come forward, De Silva on the edge of the area puts the cross in, and it has been put in the back of a net by Leicester's forward there, unfortunately. I think we really should have dealt a lot better with that. We seem to just let the ball go across us in between the defence and the goalkeeper. It was a beautiful cross, to be fair. Perfectly in between the defence and the goalkeeper. Not really much you can do about that defensively. It's all in favour of the attacker. To be fair, Monk hasn't played particularly well, so we're going to move to a two-striker system for now, I think. We're going to bring on Tommy Hole. If this is going to be his first appearance, I think, actually, since he got injured, breaking a few ribs or whatever he did. I think he broke some ribs, was out for quite a while. This is going to be his first appearance for a while, apart from like under-18s fixtures and things like that. So two strikers now on the pitch. We have got a chance, though, coming forward on a bit of a counter-attack by looks of things, as Hartop looks to put the ball in, but it's deflected. Despite a valiant effort today, with 10 minutes to go, I am struggling to see where a goal is going to come from this game. It is really unfortunate, especially as we had a goal disallowed as well. This could have been a 2-2 fixture going into extra time and penalties. We're going to go up to very attacking for the final 5 minutes as Leicester look to come forward again through the middle of the pitch. They're playing, I think, quite a strong lineup because we've got quite a few low numbers of players. I mean, 34, he's obviously a reserve player, but like number 2, number 6, number 10, number 3... Lewis Morgan puts it in the back of a net for Leicester to make it 3-1, which really does get rid of all hope of doing well and getting through to the quarterfinals. But I think we've put up a pretty good fight in today's episode, a great account of ourselves, definitely, especially in that first half up until 40 minutes. We were the better side and could have been 2-0 up if it wasn't for a dodgy linesman, I'm going to say. So although we've lost it today, I think we can be very, very proud for how we've done the Carabao Cup this season. After never getting past the first round before, having kind-ish draws, I've got to say. The first round and second round were kind draws. Obviously, the third round win against Fulham, that was a massive result for us. And it was going to be a mountain to climb over Leicester today. And for a while, it looked like we might do it. But Leicester showed their dominance, especially in that second half, really taking control of the game. We've lost the game, but I think we can be really proud of ourselves. I mean, I think the headline of Lincoln United in a disappointing collapse is a little bit harsh, considering we're the League One side and they're the Premiership side. Like, that's a little bit harsh, I think. Thankfully, though, after that game, we do have 10 days off before the next game against Luton, and that is going to be well needed for the players. I think I'm going to send a few of them to rest for 3 or 4 days, because they definitely need it after playing nearly 10 games in about 4 weeks. Next episode then, we're going to go and play these cup games, and then there's 6 league games that we're going to play before we go to Actually, let's do Shrewsbury and Lincoln. Who we got the last day of the season? Last day of the season is Shrewsbury. So actually, no, we'll do Lincoln Salford next episode. Lincoln down in 20th and Salford in 5th. But of course, we can't not do the Lincoln City game because that's the big derby. I did have a comment actually a few videos ago saying that we should call the derby against Lincoln City the Dam Busters derby, which I think is absolutely perfect. Lincoln and Lincolnshire is known for its RAF heritage, particularly in World War II, where the Dam Busters, who were based in Lincolnshire, they went and look at the story. It's a really good story, but they went in a lot of bombing runs, did a lot of good stuff for the Allied effort in World War II. So I think from now on, Lincoln United versus Lincoln City is going to be known as the Dam Busters Derby, which I think is brilliant. So I'll see you next time for the Dam Busters Derby. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.